Hey, welcome to Yo-Yo Talk. I'm just glad to be here this week. Last week, if you missed it, you should really go back and watch the episode for the first time because Dr. Tom Kuhn was on. Now, you can say, well, geez, I missed it. Maybe I shouldn't watch this episode. But this episode, we actually have him on for the second part of the interview. And if it's half as good as the first part, it's going to be great. And I know if you're still watching the show to this point, that you are a yo-yo groupie, and you gotta watch both parts of the episode to really appreciate it all. So that will be coming up a little bit later in the show. I was really pleased last week. Everything went off very smooth without a hitch, unlike this week's show where Sean is still scurrying around in the background trying to get everything together, and it hasn't been going well. So no telling what might happen in the middle of this show. But we had over 3,000 views last week, and that's pretty good. And even though the show went well last week, I was feeling pretty good when I hit the sack. And Friday morning, I got up, got my second shot from the COVID vaccine, and took it easy the rest of the day, basking in the glory of a great show the night before. And I got up the next morning, my arm was a little sore, but no big deal. So I swam a couple miles and then played a little underwater hockey, then some table tennis, and kind of a normal routine Saturday for me. And then I went to bed and I didn't get up. I was in bed pretty much for the next several days because it hit me hard. COVID kicked me in the you-know-what. So it wasn't the virus, it was the vaccine. And they say that only 0.06 people get a reaction to the vaccine, so you can start calling me in the future Mr. 0.06. So a lot of people say, hey, what it feel like having a reaction to the COVID-19 vaccine? And quite frankly, it felt like having COVID-19, except I didn't lose my taste and I didn't lose my smell, but I wasn't hungry, so that didn't make any difference. I will say, though, I lost 5 pounds, which was great. On the dark side, the 5 pounds was all muscle, not fat. So if you're wondering where my six-pack went to, that's where it went to. So anyway, that's my sad story on my COVID-19 issue. So we had a couple of people send us photographs of wearing the Doc Lucky's Trivia Champion t-shirt. Show me that the Dano the Mano photo. Now this is the way the photo is supposed to be. There is one cool dude there. He's showing his stuff. He's wearing the shirt proud. You can tell that this guy is at the top of his game. Dano the Mano wearing his Trivia Champion shirt. Now, let's take a look at Sebastian. Sebastian is, let's see, he's wearing, we'll call him Sebastian the Sloth from now on. This actually isn't the way you're supposed to go out in public and demonstrate the Trivia Champion. I don't know if anybody woke him up. It looks like he's somebody in the need of a wet willy there. But Sebastian, better luck next time in being a supermodel wearing a t-shirt as good as that. So maybe send us another, we'll give you another shot, Sebastian. Send us a little manly shot wearing it, something not so slothful. All right, let's go on and take a look at our prize package for this week, Sean. Let's see what golden goodies of collectibles we have tonight for our prize package for the winner of the pop quiz near the end of the show. Here is a Lucky's Collector's Guide to 20th Century Yo-Yos. How about that? You can pay an outrageous price for this on eBay or just win it for free here on the Yo-Yo Talk Show.
Also, we have a copy of the Immune. I have been told that everybody that reads this novel will go to heaven in the end. This may not be true, but why take the chance? Here in the center, there is a Dunkin' Coca-Cola yo-yo. This is from the early 90s. I think 94 was when these were all released. There's a big series of them. They keep going up in value. These are hitting about $20 each now on eBay. Eventually, these will be politically incorrect advertising pieces because, of course, in the future, all sugary drinks will be banned and bad for you. So sugar will go the way of cocaine. Mark my words. Begin your hoarding of liter bottles of Coca-Cola and the yo-yos. And here we have a Wolverine yo-yo from the X-Men. That's a Spectra Star sculpted yo-yo. I believe that came out around 94, so it was one of the later releases of the Spectra Star line. These, like most Spectra Star yo-yos, will run in around the $15 range. There's a few, though, that pop with a much higher price than that, but this one's usually around a $15 one. Here we have a Dunkin' baseball yo-yo. That was part of their sports line series from the early 60s. They had a baseball, golf ball, basketball, bowling ball, and those are all highly collectible. These on card usually run in the $25 to $35 price range. I see a Sir Duncan spin top there. There's an A-Lox flying disc, a couple of yo-yos for carving. Oh, there in the center, we've got a contestant pin. Those were very popular in the early 60s, late 50s to give out as awards for anybody that participated in a contest. Here is a Imperial yo-yo that's about 20 years old. Those were the way the cards looked about 20 years ago. And a Duncan trick book from the early 60s when they were just a dime. There is a pair of carving yo-yos. Those are old Duncan blanks. Being 60 years old, these yo-yos carve pretty well, if you know what you're doing. Unfortunately, when I try it, they look like a bunch of stick men. Okay, this prize package is a little bit better than last week's, which was pretty unimaginative. So no complaints here. Let's check out and see what the value of this prize package is. Okay, $200. Certainly something to wait till the end of the show to take that pop quiz and see if you can possibly win all these precious collectibles. Good luck to everyone.
All right, I guess I shouldn't have given Sebastian a lot of trouble there on that. I know he did get offered an extra role in the next episode of Trailer Park Boys. So there is that. But I think, Sebastian, if you show a little navel next time, you might get a speaking part. All right, so that was a pretty good prize package there, I guess. Some good stuff to hang around for. That'll be near the end of the show after our Tom Kuhn interview. And for those that are interested in new yo-yos being released, that will ultimately become future highly collectible yo-yos, the Duncan aluminum freehand, there's that 20th anniversary gold that has just come out. I was trying to get that gold version, missed out on it because I couldn't type my credit card in fast enough, but then I found it on the Duncan site. So I don't know if they've got any left or not. So that was a nice surprise right before the show started. So I was able to pick up one of those. So that's something to look forward to in the mail. Like I said, I didn't do much collecting this week because of my arrangement with my bed, but I did get this particular yo-yo that I had picked up a few weeks ago that had come in. It's that Crazy Eddie yo-yo. There it is. Thank you, Sean. So now this is obviously a Humphrey style yo-yo. And it's not to be confused with the yo-yoing legend Fast Eddie, or even for that matter, Ed, or Eddie. This is Crazy Eddie, who ran this big chain of, I think, consumer electronic stores in the 70s and 80s. And they were real big and they had crazy commercials and all that. But unfortunately, they did not like to pay their taxes and apparently got to enjoy the accommodations provided free from our penal system. So the background story of this yo-yo is a little interesting, and I think that's what makes some yo-yos very collectible, because they have a little story to go along with them. Like, for instance, those folks that have the nice Enron yo-yos. So sometimes the yo-yos can be historical in weird ways. Now, last week, Jason Katz was the winner of the lightning round, coming up with the answer of how many Tom Kuhn yo-yos had been in outer space, which was 7. And then the Nickinator, once again, for the millionth time, was the winner of the pop quiz. And he knew the answer that the Tom Kuhn big giant 3-in-1 yo-yo was launched from a crane for the first time. That was in '79. And then that yo-yo that was in the heirloom box, I believe, that was the Silver Bullet 1. So somehow Nick knew those and became a champion again. So it's about time for our lightning round tonight. Just a reminder, the winner is only a tentative winner, or what we refer to as our Simcoe. We will not know if you are an official winner until the end of the show when we check the time code. And this does change quite often. And the prize? Oh, it's going to be a mystery this time. And we will let you find out next week when we know who the winner is. So it won't change depending on the winner, but it is a mystery prize. So you must put your answer in the comment section on this particular lightning round. You must separate your answers by 10 seconds. And I think that's it, Sean. Let's go on and run that lightning round question. According to Tom Kuhn, later in this show, how many times did the Silver Bullet 2 orbit the Earth in 1992? So if you have some psychic ability and see ahead of time on what Tom Kuhn is going to say, then you will win this very quickly. If you do not, then you're going to have to do a lot of guessing. And did we say anything about being close? I would say if they can get it within 3, above or below. How's that sound, Sean?
Sounds pretty good.
All right, that sounds good. So, according to Tom Kuhn, in his interview, which will happen in the future here, how many times did the Silver Bullet 2 orbit the Earth in 1992? Very interesting question. And we will be talking about yo-yos in space, and there were actually a lot of them. But that'll be a little bit of...
Give them a little bit of a helping hand here. They're all
going a little low. Now, you know, that space shuttle goes around the Earth fast now, guys. It's not like, you know, it's, let's say, I'll tell you, if you're under 100, you're probably not going to get it. If you're under 100, you're probably not going to get it. Now, Nick, the Nickinator, is out there. He's probably typing in on the internet trying to find out the exact number right now, would be my guess. But for the rest of you, I would use good guessing techniques, 10 seconds apart. What?
It sucks to be Nick because you can't find it on the internet. This is
Oh, well, that's interesting. Sean doesn't believe you can find this number on the internet. I may beg to differ if you know where to look, but we still have no correct answers, apparently. I'm a little concerned here. Are they getting into the ballpark now, Sean? We're starting to get into the ballpark now. Again, 10-second separation from each answer. That's so you can't just start typing in a bunch of numbers and win. See what the other people have answered. If you see an answer already published, don't put that answer in, because we can pretty much guarantee you aren't going to win if you've already seen it.
Michael Montgomery was searching space missions in 1992.
Well, psychic ability does help on this particular question, or just keep typing those numbers in every 10 seconds. I will tell you if you are typing over, let's say 150, you are not going to get this answer. So we're somewhere between 100 and 150. What?
I'm seeing one.
Uh-oh. And what would the name be associated with that correct answer? Mr. Berg? Jason Katz. Now, did he answer close or did he nail it?
From what I see, he nailed it.
He nailed it. So the answer was 127. So he either has psychic ability or he found it on the internet. So he is our Simcoe.
There's one other possibility.
Oh, there is another possibility, Sean? What is that?
I need to get an eye exam.
Oh. Oh, that you need to get an eye exam. Yes. Well, that will create a lot of controversy that I don't want to get involved in. So, all right. So we have now a Simcoe or our tentative winner, and we will see if that holds out at the end of the show. So, Sean, let's jump right into our second part of our interview with Dr. Tom Kuhn. It is a good one. How did you incorporate like yoga and yo-yos? Are you? I assume you're into yoga.
Yeah, I studied yoga for a long time. In fact, the person who started this type of yoga is named Iyengar. Iyengar is a certain brand of yoga.
Okay.
And this is a picture. May be too glossy to see this. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Yeah. So was he your instructor?
No, he's in India.
Oh,
he was in India. He's passed away.
Okay.
But in 1984, there was a yoga convention, and he came to San Francisco. You know, I went to this like hall where he was meeting with this local group in San Francisco. I was asked to actually get up and do some yoga-yoing, so to speak. And,
Nice.
and I started doing some tricks, and then I said I need a volunteer for a 2-person trick. And I looked around and I said, how about this gentleman over here? And I pointed at him at the back of the room. He said, could you come up, sir? And he laughed. And Iyengar came up to the front, and I gave him a yo-yo, and I said, can you do this trick? And it was forward pass.
Uh-huh.
And he caught right onto it. I mean, no problem. I said, okay, so why don't we see if we can touch yo-yos? And so we stood about 7 feet apart or something, and we started throwing the yo-yo at each other. And I said, let's make a click. So after about, 10, 15 tries, our yo-yos smashed together, and there was this great round of applause. I thanked him and gave him the yo-yo.
Nice. So for the viewers out there that don't know, it's Dr. Tom Kuhn because he is a dentist and he has a practice for, decades in San Francisco. And do you ever pull out a yo? I have on occasion pulled out a yo-yo in my practice and given little demonstrations usually for kids. Do you ever do that? I got to believe you do.
A lot.
A lot. Great.
Yeah.
That's
and like between patients and sometimes for kids, obviously they love it.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I find it's a great icebreaker and all that too. And I, as a collector, I find that people will bring me yo-yos too sometimes. So they're out traveling and stuff, and that's just really nice for people to think of you in that way. Just actually last week, maybe I'll put up a picture here of a guy just walked in with this old, and the seal's a little damaged, this old Royal yo-yo. He said he got 70 years ago. The guy's in his 80s.
Wow.
So anyway, it's just nice when people think of you that way. Now, when was the last time you were on a skateboard?
1 second. Okay, here's a yo-yo that someone gave to me, a 2 Dr. Yo.
Ah, cool.
And this is from the the highest peak in Southeast Asia,
Oh my gosh, that is great.
and it's from Mount Kinabalu in Borneo.
Drop it down just
And
a
this
little
went-
bit. Oh, huh, interesting.
This went to the top of the mountain by this boy was I didn't put his age on here, but I think he was pretty young, 10 years old. Yeah.
Wow.
He was a 10-year-old kid.
And so he carried that up to the top of the
Yeah,
mountain.
that was pretty neat.
Yeah, that is
was neat.
very cool. Very cool. So you used to, I mean, I've seen videos of you on the skateboard and the yo-yo and all that. You still get on a skateboard at all?
You know, I haven't been on a skateboard for probably a year.
A year? I thought you were going to say a decade or 3 decades. A year?
No.
Oh, that's great.
No, I tried it about a year ago, and I thought, okay, I better, if I'm going to do this, I got to have all these pads and my helmet and stuff.
Yeah,
And I said, "It's not the
back
same."
up just a little bit there, Tom.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Well, no, that's great that you're in your 70s and we're still getting on a skateboard. I'm not sure whether that's always the best idea or not. I know it's never a good idea for me to be on a skateboard. So now the turbo yo.
I'll be 78 in April.
Yeah, that's great. You look in great shape. And so do you do anything besides yoga for exercise? Well, I guess you still hike and stuff.
I do.
Golf.
I do Tai Chi.
Oh, Tai
I
Chi.
do
Okay.
Tai Chi regularly, and I play golf, and I walk the courses, which is good exercise. And Kim, my wife, teaches Pilates, and I take some
Okay.
Pilates classes from her. And go to the gym, lift weights.
Good, good.
Try to stay fit.
And throw the yo-yo. So it all goes together there. So
Yeah.
now the turbo yo-yo, I wanted to talk a little bit about that because that was your early prototype for then later development of the Silver Bullet and all that. And that was,
Right.
in my mind, kind of the introduction of the yo-yo world or community into a metal yo-yo, which now, I mean, all the top players play with metal or bi-metal yo-yos with all kinds of different things. But back in the day, that was just kind of an amazing innovation to say, hey, yeah, we can make a really good quality playing yo-yo out of metal. So how did that turbo yo-yo come about? And you didn't make very many of the turbos. Were those all considered prototypes, or did you actually produce a few of those for retail?
We actually they were all prototypes, and
Okay.
I've got to thank Don Watson for all he's contributed to the turbo yo and the ball bearing yo-yos that I've made. We collaborated with Don, and also known as Captain Yo.
Captain Yo, yes.
Yeah, he's getting up there in years now, but
yeah, he was the last time I talked to him, he was pretty old, and that was 20 years ago. So he must be really getting up there now.
He's getting up there, yeah, definitely. So yeah, the turbo yo, I've got some over here. Well, actually, this was like a prototype.
Oh, okay, yeah, nice,
Turbo
sweet,
yo.
yeah. For the collectors watching out there, that is like a superstar yo-yo to have in your collection, and people say, well, what Tom Kuhn yo-yo doesn't Lucky have in his collection? That would be one of them, the turbo yo. So those are highly, highly coveted by the collectors out there. So and a very important piece in yo-yo history too, I might add. So so how did that transition go from the turbo into the Silver Bullet? What was because the Silver Bullet was of course mass produced. What was the evolution from turbo to Silver Bullet?
The turbo yo or Silver Bullet, and this was Don. I can thank Don for this. Let me take it apart. The turbo yo wasn't turning predictably. You know, we had to do we had to find some kind of a return mechanism so the return rings on around the
so it was more non-responsive.
What's that?
The problem with the turbo yo-yo was it because it was non-responsive? When you say it was difficult to,
well, no, it was responsive,
okay.
But we had to use these. I'm blanking on this. You know, when you have loose leaf binders, the loose leaf reinforcement
on the insides of the yo-yo.
Cut this. I
Okay.
can't remember the name.
You like the friction pads? Is that what you're talking about?
So we made, okay, the transition was that there were no inserts on the turbo yo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, move that down a little bit to the center there of the screen. There you go. Yeah, okay. Okay, I see. Yes.
Yeah. On the SB2, as you know, the SB2 has a slotted insert.
Right. Like a friction.
Which you can change the width of the string gap by turning that insert one way or the other.
Is that like a friction pad? It's what it looks like to me.
Happening, and this was Don again, came up with this turbo disc idea. So you peel these turbo discs out.
Oh, okay.
And you put them around the bearing.
Right.
And you have that a very nice response.
Okay.
You can dial in the width of the string gap just right, and then it'll come back.
Okay. So it didn't have that in the turbo, so the turbo was harder to get to return. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, turbo is harder.
So really what happened was, with the turbo, you really kind of invented the non-responsive yo-yo and had people known how to do binds back then. That would have been, I mean, because that's what everybody's playing with now. They're playing with non-responsive yo-yos, right. And you have to do binds. Right. So with a turbo, it was probably actually a generation ahead of the silver bullet, and you didn't even know it. So that's an amazing story. I had no idea about that story. Very, very cool story. So the turbo really is the forerunner of all these non-responsive yo-yos that we see nowadays. So that is an amazing story. So we had a viewer.
Play with your turbo yo-yos.
I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
Yeah, yes.
Just play with your turbo yo-yos.
Yeah, exactly. So we had a viewer that wanted to know what is your favorite laser pattern, including the advertising yo-yos. You know you have all the mandalas, and then you have all your laser carved ad yo-yos. If you had to pick one yo-yo out of those that are laser carved that you did, which would be the pattern that you say is the one you like the most?
This was the Mandala 2.
Okay. Move that over a little bit. There you go. There you go. That's perfect. That's good right there. Nice. Yes, that's a great pattern.
I like that design a lot.
How did you come up with those designs, by the way? Did you do that?
I still like the Flying Camel.
I love the Flying Camel, and I got a question
yes.
in a bit. You did the designs yourself?
Yeah, but there's a batik yo-yo.
Okay, bring that over just a little bit. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Very nice. Just over to your. Yeah. There you go. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Very nice. So, did you draw out those patterns yourself?
Actually, I did not. I had an artist at Latecraft do that. It's a
Was that
company
the same
I don't-
person that
I don't know
designed
that
the?
it was in Santa Rosa.
Was that the same person that designed the Flying Camel?
Well, the Flying Camel was my design.
It was your
And,
design.
I
Cool.
actually sketched it out.
All right, nice.
Yeah, that was my design.
Okay, now since we're talking about the Flying Camel, my favorite Tom Kuhn yo-yo is the reverse Flying Camel. So can you tell us a little story about, there's the reverse Flying Camel and the reverse Mandalas that are out there. There was a very, very small run. Can you tell us how that happened? I think collectors really need to hear this story.
Well, I was back around when I guess it would have been 77 or so when we were designing some of these yo-yos to be put out. 78. I was on a backpacking trip with a friend of mine who now lives in France. But anyway, we were around we were sitting around camp and having there was a campfire and it was still light outside and there was this strange cloud formation. I said, "Hey, look at that cloud. What do you think it looks like?" I said, "It looks like a flying camel." He goes, "Yeah, me too." So anyway, I did a little sketch of that and decided we ought to make a yo-yo with that design on it. So that's how it started.
Okay, so
the reverse,
the
reverse was just
an error.
reverse was because there was errors. We I don't know how big each of the trays were, but I think they held about something like 24 perhaps, and I think they had the stencil
Backwards.
upside down.
Yeah.
And so I got the backwards. So I got the yo-yos and we were putting them together and hey, what's going on here? So it was backwards.
So anyway, those.
And you have one.
Yes, I have one of each of the Mandalas and the Flying Camel, and those
Right.
are some of my favorite ones because a lot of people don't even know they exist, and it's always cool because you can put it up to a mirror and then you can see the reflection is correct. So that a very, very cool yo-yo. Those reverse Flying Camels, and probably even rarer than the turbos that are out there. So anyway, I always like talking about those because I think it's got an interesting story. If you had to pick one yo-yo yourself that you said, I think this is the yo-yo of all the Tom Kuhn yo-yos that have been made and all your models, which one would you say, hey, this is the one a collector has to have in their collection?
Well, I don't know about collectors. I thought you were talking about just a yo-yo that I like to play with myself.
Oh, okay. Now, give me both. Give me both. Tell me what you like to play yourself first.
I like this RD1.
Nice. Okay. A beautiful yo-yo.
I just like this yo-yo. And if you were to say which one should a collector have?
Okay, maybe I should put it this way. If your house was burning down and you could only rescue one yo-yo, what yo-yo would that be out of your collection?
Oh my gosh, probably I should show you the yo-yo. Actually, Don Pettit, the astronaut,
Oh,
puts
yes.
the yo-yos into space.
Sure.
And so I'm going to pull down a bag, his yo-yos. I'd probably grab that bag of yo-yos that were in space. So I'll go through them.
Okay.
There's 6 yo-yos that were that went into space. And here's a pocket rocket.
Okay. Now, let me ask you, these aren't the ones that went into space, though, are they?
Yes, these are the ones that went into space.
Oh, my God. That's amazing. Okay. Yeah, let's see the other ones. I thought there was just one of your... Very cool. All right.
No,
Now, which yo?
So
I
this
don't.
is a
What yo-yo is that?
this is a well-used sleep machine. He was up there for
Oh, okay.
like
That's why there's no markings on it. Cool.
over a year. I mean, he was up there a long time.
Okay,
and
there
can
you
see
go.
How well used the sleep machine is.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Nice.
And then here's a roller Woody.
Roller Woody. Okay. Cool. Very sweet. Very sweet.
SB2.
SB2.
I
All
don't know if
right.
you can see
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that's beautiful. That's great. All signed and everything. That's amazing.
And here is a RD1.
That is neat. So those were
And
the
then
ones.
this was the and here's another one. This is one that he modified.
Oh, okay.
A modified Tomcat that Don modified,
Oh, okay.
and he put an extra set of bearings
Oh,
on the
okay.
outside of this, so that he could
Hold on to it.
hold on to it and spin it.
Neat.
So that's
Now that was, what year was that? Because that's like the, is that like the
was,
first hub stack?
that was 03. Hold on one second. You know, if I knew you were going to ask me these questions,
Oh, that's
I
all
would have
right.
been more prepared.
No,
Hold on
no,
one
no,
second.
no, you're doing great.
Hold on.
This is wonderful stuff.
Okay, so he was in space a number of times. Expedition 6 was in 2002.
2002.
Um,
Okay. And is that when he took up those yo-yos?
Yeah, he said that.
Now you had a silver bullet go up before
well,
2002.
Actually, the first yo-yo. So Dave. All right. So Jeffrey Hoffman took an SB2 into space in '92
92. Okay.
on the space shuttle Atlantis,
Okay.
and so he that SB2 traveled 3,321,007 miles, orbited the Earth 127 times. In 2002, Expedition 6, 2002, November to May 4th, 2003, Don Pettit took the SB2 pocket rocket, Roller Woody, and Tomcat with him. And that's when there was that shuttle disaster in 2003 while he was in space. So, and then in 2011, Expedition 3031, he used different versions of Tomcat to demonstrate the tether assist and so on.
So was that
There's
the
a
one?
video
Was that the one you were
on the
showing
website.
that was modified with like the hub stacks?
Yeah, right.
So that was in 2011. Okay, so the hub stacks were already kind of around by then. I was kind of freaking out because I thought, oh, wait a minute, did the first hub stack start in the space station? That would have been incredible. So pretty amazing. Well, I can understand why that bag of that would be the first bag of yo-yos I would grab too, if you had to save one thing. That I just assumed that all those yo-yos that went up in space were in some space museum somewhere. I had no idea you have all 6 of those there. That's good to know, and an amazing story too. So we had folks want to know, did you ever keep a list anywhere of all the different ad yo-yos that you made? Or is that something that has been lost to history?
Well, no, it hasn't been lost in history. There's been probably at least 15 or 20.
Yeah.
I can list them and
Yeah, if you could send me the list, I would love to show people, the ones that are out there, because people are already, there was one that just came up recently. I'm blocking on what it was a kind of a weird a weird company, some kind of, I want to say data company or something like that, and I'd never heard of it, and it just three or
there's
four.
Krieger and Sons.
Now, was Krieger and Sons the very
Krieger-
first ad yo-yo you did? Because that's the rumor out there.
Yeah, and then there's, Neiman Marcus and Abercrombie and Fitch
Right.
and National Cash Register. And, we have various Smothers Brothers
Sure.
wine yo-yos.
Sure.
Chardonnay, etc.
But was Krieger and Sons the first one? Because that's what everybody is kind of rumored as your first ad yo-yo. Would that be accurate?
I think I believe it was. Uh-huh.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
That is cool. So, yeah, I'd love to see the list, and I'll put it out there for the collectors so they know what to covet. Because there's some that they may not know exist. So, and they're all,
Okay.
some of
I'm
those,
making a note.
yeah, those yo-yos many times sell in the hundreds of dollars. That little ad yo-yo that was selling for a few bucks each at some little souvenir shop somewhere now sells for hundreds of dollars. So it's pretty impressive.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Whether you know it or not, Tom Kuhn yo-yos amongst collectors are considered super collectibles. So there's some people that just collect Tom
Cool.
Kuhn yo-yos. So it's a great legacy. A great
We also have-
legacy. Well, I'm sorry,
that?
I missed
Oh.
that last thing you said.
No, I'm just going to say we also made a number of commemorative yo-yos for various things too.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I would love to see the kind of an updated list of what's out there. And there's a lot of, for the viewers out there.
This is one that
Let's see. Move that over a little more toward the center of the screen. Yeah. Let me see if I recognize that. No, I can't read it. What does that say on there?
Tell them to hold a little closer.
Yeah, hold it a little closer.
it says worth
More.
fighting for.
Oh, okay.
Parcel 4, worth fighting for. And
Oh, that's a local
so what
thing.
this was a yo-yo commemorating saving this piece of land that's not far from where I live on the coast here of San Francisco. That was going to be something like 188 condos up this hillside.
That's what we need in the world, more condos.
Yeah, right. Parking for 200 cars, and
Yeah.
it would have really been a mess. So it's really, it's been saved, and I may have sent you a picture actually of that too.
Oh, okay. I'll check through those
of that
photos.
area
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Cool. Well, this has been amazing. This is great stuff, Tom. I can't thank you enough for coming on and sharing all your stories and all that great stuff. I think I'm going to probably break this into actually a 2-part interview because we covered so much stuff, and it's stuff I know all the viewers and collectors and everybody out there want to hear. So really good, thorough job of educating us on the Tom Kuhn history.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Oh yeah,
Appreciate
I love talking to you. Every time I talk to you, it a little more history. I think we met at the '93 Nationals. I believe I have a picture somewhere. I'll flash it up if I do. And that was important because that was the first modern national championships. So we had, you were there, and Don Duncan Jr. was there. Some of the true legends of yo-yoing were all there, and kind of got that modern yo-yo era going. And we have a lot to thank you for, because you came out and says, hey, we need a good, solid throwing wood yo-yo. And I really think that that's what helped bring us to where we are right now today, with the yo-yos having world championships and players that do such amazing tricks that you couldn't even fathom those tricks back in '93. A lot of good stuff there, and we thank you for everything you have done for the yo-yo community over the decades.
It's humbling. Thank you very much.
You are a true legend and truly worthy of being in the Yo-yoing Hall of Fame. So thank you so much for spending some time with us. All right, another fantastic talk with Dr. Tom Kuhn. I think I can honestly say that we could have talked for hours nonstop and never covered old material. So thanks again, Tom, for being on the show. You are one of a kind and a true legend in our yo-yoing community. Okay, let's not waste any time and jump right into our pop quiz for tonight. Again, you must remember that to answer both questions correctly in the same comment, the first person that gets both questions correctly answered in that comment will be our tentative winner or our Simcoe. And we will let you know at the end of the show when we check the time code whether you are our official winner. Sean, let's roll the pop quiz.
Doc Lucky's Pop Quiz. One shot, one champion. First to answer both questions in the Facebook comments wins. Get ready.
In this Tom Kuhn Cosmic High photo, which we've already seen on the show, how many yo-yos is he holding? How many yo-yos is Tom Kuhn holding in this photo? If you were to enlarge it. And how many yo-yos are in this jar? Oh my gosh, this is something you can't look up on the internet. Oh my, this could be tough. How many yo-yos is Tom Kuhn holding, and how many yo-yos are in this jar? Let the guessing games begin, and you must guess correctly both in the same comment. This is kind of a no-holds-barred competition right now. I'm sure the Kuhn is going crazy. Probably doing some kind of differential calculus on that jar of yo-yos right now as we're speaking. It should be illegal, but I can't help it. You can't help it that he's a math prodigy. All right, Tom Kuhn is holding yo-yos in that picture, and we've actually already shown the picture, so if you weren't dozing during our little show there, you should be able to get that one like that. The other one, a little more difficult. How many yo-yos are in that jar? And there are several. So what do we got, Sean? Are we getting any?
We're getting close.
We're getting close.
One.
On the second one.
The first one, there's two numbers they're going back and forth with.
Oh, we're having trouble with the first one. I thought the first one would be fine.
Well, some are getting it, some aren't.
Oh, okay.
We're kind of bouncing back and forth here. It's kind of weird.
Okay, well, we'll see. So it's the first question is a little bit off, and the second question, they're getting closer.
Oh, wow.
Oh, we do.
Oh.
What's this? Do we have an answer?
Dano the Mano.
Dano the Mano has come up with
The answers.
Okay, the answer was 6. If you will recall, he has actually 6 arms in the air, each holding a yo-yo. And in the jar, there are 35 yo-yos. And yes, we took them all out and counted them and put them back in the jar. So that's how we knew. Otherwise, we wouldn't have known either.
Just said I give up.
Chuck, don't give up so easy, my friend. That would have probably been your next answer, I'm sure. So anybody else really close?
Nick was getting there.
Nick was getting there. I'm surprised.
I saw someone come out really strong in the beginning. Jason Cass came out really strong and just kind of
He just kind of got weak, huh? All right. Yeah. Well, congratulations to Dano the Mano. It looks like you are our Simcoe, or our tentative winner for the evening. And we'll let you know later if you are our official winner. And who won the lightning round again? I forgot.
We think Jason Cass.
Jason Cass.
We think
is tentative winner. For knowing 127 for the number of orbits that SB2 did around the world. And we will let you know what your surprise package is next week. So before we close, I want to thank all those that have signed up for our Instagram. We just hit 100, which is pretty good because I don't believe there are more than 150 people in the entire world worthy of being signed up for Doc Lucky's Yo-Yo Talk Instagram, where we post interesting collectible yo-yo pictures. And it sounds like a bit of a fetish site to me. Anyway, if you are not one of those highly intelligent individuals that have already followed our Instagram, you may do so by going to DocLuckies_yo-yo_talk. And quick reminder that voting is still going on for the National Yo-Yo Hall of Fame. We have lots of votes in so far. Still could be anybody's game, you know. I can't tell you who's in front or who's behind, but it's interesting to watch the votes come in. You can still vote, but you must be a member of the Academy of Yo-Yo Arts Facebook group to vote. There are only 10 more voting days left. Again, we just like people that have been involved in the hobby for a long period of time and have made contributions to become members, but you're always welcome to join us in that group, and if you are worthy, we'll get your vote in. And as always, please remember, you can never have too many yo-yos. This is Doc Lucky signing off until next week. Same yo-yo channel, same yo-yo time.